So I'm out in the wilderness. If you can see, I'm literally in the middle of a forest, and I wanted to talk very, very briefly about things that are very important, especially to me during this time in my life, which in particular is faith. Faith is always very important because without faith we do not have belief, and without belief we cannot actually do anything remotely substantial to work towards anything of that belief. So say you do not have faith that you're going to pass your class, then all of your actions will be resounding with that unfaith of you not being able to pass your class. You will study very hard, probably, maybe, and then on the test choke because inside in your heart you believe that you are not equipped enough to pass the class. This is just a prime example. So for me in particular, it's very important to have faith. It's very important to have faith in the things that we think could come true, because anything can happen in this life. There's so much realm for possibility. There's so much probability that could be orchestrated. So pick and choose which probability, which route, if you will, you would like to take or you would like to go. And it shall be done. Human beings have a lot of free will, but if we don't utilize it in a way that is constructive, we end up destroying ourselves. It has to be constructive. It has to be, in the mode of service to some degree towards ourselves, our higher selves, and others as well. So this is what I believe in very strongly, and these are the morals that I carve the rest of my life around. And, I'm trying. I think that's the best we can do. We can just always try, to live in that perfect state of alignment, to live in that perfect state of compassion, to live in that state of unconditional love for everything and everyone all the time, because God consciousness is in every living being. And even inside of the inanimate objects, the rocks, the stones, the leaves, the trees, the birds, which are animate, but even the inanimate objects, right? So source is not, sometimes here, sometimes there. God is everywhere. We don't, see it, or we think we don't, but we actually do, because guess what? You're alive, and you have a body that works, and you have eyes that can see, and there's life all around us. Look at this. There's life all around us. In all regards, in all facets, blooming. We just keep ourselves stuck indoors, so we forget sometimes how connected we are to life and how much of a part of nature we are and how tied to nature we are. We don't even know what happens inside of our digestive systems. Do you know? If you're a bio major, you probably know, but you actually don't even know how. How is everything that you know that's happening? How is it happening? There's so much speculation we can do, but then there comes a point where there's nothing left to uncover. It's what's left? That's that God seed. That's that, inconceivable potency that we think, we should be allowed to see all of the time. Hey, you are seeing it. You're alive, aren't you? So it's coursing through you. So to live the way God prescribes us to live, and this can be seen in the Bhagavad Gita very clearly, to live in this way is to truly live in a state of alignment, to truly live in a state of higher consciousness. This is how we should be living, actually. People are like, oh, there's no guidebook to life, but there is, you just have to read it. It does take effort to read and absorb and understand that which is being presented to us, but knowledge without the ability to assimilate knowledge is useless. We must also have the ability to assimilate knowledge and to understand what is being presented to us. Otherwise, what's the point of us learning anything at all if we don't use it in a way that is constructive and gratifying to the personal, individual soul stuff? And then later, the souls of others, right? Other beings. This is the pivotal point around which all human life should be orchestrated. Service, yes, 1000%. Because if we don't act in a state of service, we are just acting in a state of consumerism. In some regard, we're eating, sleeping, mating, repeating. So there's something to be said about, acts of selfless service. That is the highest caliber of existence, and actually it's very blissful. When you use your mind, your body, your words to serve, when you use your intellect, your heart, your love to create, that is being in a flow state. That is being in a state of service. And this is what all Vedic texts talk about. I've read most of them. That's what, the main pivotal point of human life is. Because otherwise, what is the point of having such a high level of consciousness? The bees and the birds and the dogs, which are all very pure, cannot assimilate knowledge the way a human being can. So the human form of life is very precious. And this is something to remember if ever at all you feel like it's not, because it is. And we are very naturally accustomed to loving. It is actually our natural state. It is the soul's natural state to love. And so by acting in this way, by acting in a state of love, by acting on that love frequency, we can understand that this is where we were supposed to be all along. This is where we were supposed to be acting from all along. There is no other thing that is necessary to live from, in this lifetime. There is no other state that is necessary to live from. Not from a state of passion, not from a state of sense gratification, not from a state of anger, God forbid, or sadness, God forbid, right? These are things that are signals, our emotions are signals to us that we might be in a state of resistance to our surroundings. That is what sadness is. That is what anger is and whatnot, yeah? So we can be happy truly when we understand that it is our duty to do so. It is our constitutional position as a human being to uncover that way which we can achieve this state of bliss, which is, being in constant alignment with source consciousness, with God, and seeing God everywhere, and then simultaneously, because of this, acting in a state of service, because that's the only way you know how to act, right? That is the natural route to take, because you are existing in such a close parameter with God. So these are things to keep in mind. These are, beautiful things, I think, to remember all the time, and to not remember, to not know, but to understand, to feel, to act from. You're alive. Look alive. Feel alive. Go out in nature. Connect to your roots, because they are your roots, because we all come from nature, and we will be, at the end, destroyed by nature, the physical body at least, because the soul is never destroyed. It is only transferred. Right? This is Newton's law. So, I hope you enjoy the beautiful nature with me. I definitely did. And I will talk to you guys again soon.